Hi guys, in this video I'll be updating you with the world events and how they look like they may be possibly connected to the IPEC Go 2 video. We have China stepping forward to scrap its no first use nuclear weapons plan, and obviously we've just come into the new year, the year of the pig, and in connection with that we thought China would be coming forward, and this appears to be something like that. China have had a no first use nuclear weapons policy for many years, and now they scrapped it. And at the same time, we have the United States withdrawing from the INF, Russia doing the same. So there's clearly a nuclear um, problem right now between the three major nuclear powers. And with China saying that they're going on the offensive rather than just defensive, it puts me on alert because it's one of the things we've been looking out for. Iran builds new missile facility near Damascus. Now we know that Israel's not going to stand for that, but they have to contend with the S-300 air defense system from Russia, which just became active in Syria, as reported in the second to last video. Um, if Israel does decide to go and strike this missile facility in Damascus, they may come into confrontation with Russia, which would be a problem. But they also have an issue where it could be taking place at the same time as the Juniper Falcon exercise. Now, I say an issue, it could really be a boon, because if they did decide to attack and, we have the rhetoric from Iran, one more attack in Syria, and we're going to respond, this could be it. And it could be taking place, it could take place at the same time as the Juniper Falcon exercise, which is an exercise between the United States and Israel, planning cooperation and military communication during a wartime event. And that follows last year's drill, Juniper Cobra, which was a drill practicing to be attacked from all sides. So, with that potential uh, for the United States backing them up because they're already in the country doing this drill, it could be that Israel decide, well, let's go and launch our attack then. And obviously, if we come up against the S-300 air defense system and have to destroy it, at least we've got US troops in the country in case it goes badly. Obviously, that's one way of thinking. The other way of thinking is it's all planned, which is what it is. So the US purchases the Iron Dome missile defense system, citing an immediate need. And obviously, an immediate need for missile defense would mean that they have fears of being attacked by missiles, which is another one of the events that we're looking out for. Missile attack by submarines. So keep an eye on that. What's his name? Mike Pompeo has warned Iran not to launch uh, ballistic missiles or satellites, and this is the second time that they've gone ahead and done it. So the first one was a failure, and they decided that they're going to go ahead and launch another one this week, despite US criticism. So again, there's just another potential for things to kind of escalate from there. We know that they've been talking about sanctions, but the military option is always on the table, as Donald Trump says. So that's something that we've really got to watch out for. And obviously, as mentioned already, this is all occurring during this Juniper Falcon exercise, which commences today and will move on throughout the week into next week. So that puts it in the time frame as well. Iran unveiling their new ballistic missile and underground missile production facility. So this is in direct response to the threats they've been getting from the United States. They're kind of saying, well, we're just going to unveil a new missile, surface-to-surface ballistic missile, while the United States says, okay, we're going to purchase Iron Dome for immediate need. And it just keeps going on. So that's the Middle East. We're looking at all these events that are unfolding between Iran, Israel, and the United States. Iran they're definitely pushing their boundaries in terms of the boundaries that have been set by Israel and the United States, building new missile defense facilities, launching satellites, unveiling ballistic missile and underground production facilities. It's all kind of an indication that Iran is not really stepping back from this. And then obviously the United States is also kind of getting ready for a response, in my opinion, by purchasing Iron Dome, by drilling with the Israelis. It all seems significant, but this is probably the most significant. China to scrap no first-use nuclear weapons plan, switching from defensive to offensive. And then, interestingly, North Korea, they're not having a military parade. Today is supposed to be their military parade, but there's no sign of one. And I'm just curious. It could be a good thing, you know, denuclearization, peace, and whatnot. But we know that's all a farce anyway. But my opinion is they're not displaying their missiles this year or today. And I have a question: where are they? Where are these missiles? You know, maybe they're unavailable to be paraded around. Maybe they're actually, you know, being put to better use, in their opinion, which lines up with the reports that are coming out that North Korea is hiding nukes and selling weapons and continuing to develop its nuclear and missile capabilities. So you have to, you know, question what's going on around the whole North Korean thing. Obviously, as I said, we know it's a deception, but why are we being told that things are going well and that there's nothing to worry about when there clearly is, if you just use your own brain and your own eyes and ears? This one is concerning as well. Getting reports out of Hawaii that there were a series of military explosions on the island, the Big Island, prior to a 4.8 magnitude earthquake. 1 second. So residents of Hawaii claim to have heard bombs being dropped from a military outpost. The training area, spanning some 108,863 acres, is the U.S. Department of Defense's largest installation in the Pacific, soon after a 4.8 magnitude earthquake struck the island. It's concerning to me because when we're looking at the IPEC Go-To scene, and we've talked about the Apple and how it connects to Hawaii, the Big Island, and Kilauea, the Helena Slump, and the Tsunami, we also have the, you know, clear connection, which we've pointed out over and over again, to the number 8 in the middle of the apple. And today is the 8th. In connection with that, we also have the F. Let me just let it form so it's not playing. But we have the number 8 here. And coming off that, we also have the letter F. But when you consider that this part can also be taken as a letter F, you have to consider that what remains is the number 9. And then down here, we've got the number 4 next to the number 5, a reference to the lunar calendar, LC, with the 4 and 5 attached. So that says to me lunar calendar 4-5. When I look at the lunar calendar, the 4th day and the 5th day in this month is the 8th and 9th on the Gregorian calendar. And that could be exactly what we've got inside the apple, the 8 and the 9 with the letter F coming off to the side. And obviously the F could be for February, but also today is a Friday the 8th. Upside down, sorry, so annoying. Just going to try and talk over it. Upside down, the L is a 7. And if you think about the 7 going dark and then it going on to the 8 is illuminated along with the 9. That could be saying the 7th passed, that would be yesterday. And we're on the 8th today, where they're dropping bombs on Hawaii. And the 9th is also included. So the 8 and the 9, the 4 and the 5, they both correspond to the same days. The 4th lunar day is the 8th. The 5th lunar day is the 9th. And in between that is 12 o'clock, which is the L reference. So I'm just thinking, is it today that they do something to Hawaii, to Kilauea? Does it wake up today? With me thinking that, it brings me back to the 10-2 reference that we had before. So the 1 seed, the 0 seed being 10, and the 2 seeds on the other side either being a reference to 11 or the number 2. And that number sequence is repeated at the end of the video. Another reference to the tsunami, where we have 11 and 10, or 2 and 10, which could be February the 10th. So basically what I'm saying is, if they're dropping bombs on Hawaii today, and those reports are accurate coming from the residents, and Kilauea wakes up, I don't know, between today and tomorrow, maybe 12 o'clock midnight, maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, as we've seen that 2 o'clock reference before, maybe even 3, because that's also a reference as well. it could be that a day of shaking or erupting on the 9th brings us to the 10th, where the tsunami comes. That's just an interpretation, as all of them are, but I'm concerned that these reports are coming out today, and I'm concerned that they have such striking connection to the scene that we've talked about in relation to Hawaii and Kilauea, and how it could be after the 7th, on the 8th, between the 8th and the 9th, the 4th lunar day, between the 4th lunar day and the 5th lunar day, tsunami, or you could even look at it as the L being a reference to the 12th month, which has gone dark. So last year gone, next year begins, 4th and 5th day in, being the 8th and the 9th on the Gregorian calendar. There's a lot I'm looking out for. So just keeping all that in mind. Obviously, I've got a watch from the 12th to the 18th, which I'm not abandoning. But with this news report and the possible connections it could have to this particular scene, I wanted to put that out there for you guys to keep a watch on it, just in case it does happen, which would maybe indicate a tsunami on the 10th of February and other events coming on after that. Speaking of events after that, all I did was search Valentine's Day power cut, because I just had this feeling. I don't know. It just came to me. I just wanted to search it. Valentine's Day, or Valentine's balloons cause power outage. Now that's interesting to me, because another reference to the iPad Go 2 video is hearts on the board, and don't they look like they could be balloons kind of drifting off, floating away on a black board, which could basically be a symbolic reference to a power outage or a blackout. 3 balloon hearts drifting away in contact with, this is what the story is about basically. A metallic balloon caused a power outage for thousands, and it's not the first time it's happened, which is interesting because I've never come across that problem before. But searching Valentine's Day and power cut brought me to these balloons, and I'll just read a bit of the report. PG&E had anticipated that 4 balloons, which are increasingly in popularity as Valentine's Day's gifts, may cause some problems this week, and so sent a public statement asking people to be careful and responsible with their Valentine's Day gift. Despite this, a power outage caused by a red foil balloon affected more than 2,000 people in the San Jose area of California, although power was quickly restored. This was last year. So I'm curious. Obviously, last year my focus was on Donald Trump and a shooting happening with Jesus and a bullet 223 or whatever, and some of those things happened, but I didn't consider the blackout electric part on the 14th, which obviously didn't happen last year. But considering what we've got going on this year and our new understandings, could very be possible that we have a Valentine's Day blackout blamed on a balloon or 3 balloons. A possibility. So yeah, that would then bring us on to the 15th, which again I think could be a direct reference to the Super Bowl, L3, 12-3, 15. There's all sorts of possible references and connections, but yeah, so basically watch out from today to the 18th. Extend it from 7 days to 10 days, add 3 more days on, the 8th, the 9th, 10th, well, 4 more days on, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, and pursue from there. I am sorry, but when I see something that could possibly be connected, whether it's within the timeline that I've put or just before it, I have to acknowledge it, because not acknowledging it could mean that a lot of people don't get the warning, if there is a warning to be given. So that's why I do it. You guys, hope you got all the information. Just for a quick recap, China coming forward dropping its no first use nuclear weapons policy, Iran building new missile facilities in Damascus, with the US purchasing Iron Dome for immediate defense, satellites being launched by Iran, or at least attempting to launch them after they've been told not to. And we have, I forgot what this report's about. Oh yes, the Juniper Falcon exercise going on. If anything occurs with Iran in Syria and Israel, conveniently you have US troops ready to go. Iran unveiling new ballistic missile and underground missile production facility. Again, just could be hinting something major is coming soon, and that's why they're doing this. No military parade. Where are the missiles? Could they be hidden around the country, as is being reported? The US military dropping bombs on Hawaii. We have 2 active volcanoes. Why are they doing it? Is it connected to this 4.8 magnitude earthquake? It's a possibility. We don't know, but it's a possibility. And of course, bringing us back to the 8th, the 9th, the F, the S, Friday, Saturday, the 4th, the 5th, lunar 4th, 5th is the 8th and the 9th. On the Gregorian calendar, the tsunami situation, a link to the 12th lunar month finishing and beginning the new year, which we just did a couple of days ago. And that could be why it's dark, or even upside down. We could be looking at number 7, saying the 7th has gone dark, which was yesterday, and now on today, and looking at today and tomorrow, possibly between those times, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, or 3 o'clock. I'm going to be keeping my eyes open. You guys, thank you for listening. Hopefully nothing happens. Pray nothing happens. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.